glasses on.
Oh, we're starting now.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 502. My name is Christopher Riccio, and I'm here with Geoff Torney.
What up, guys?
And Jason A. Stryker.
In 3, 2,
1.
Hello and welcome to, as normal, we are as professional as always.
502 episodes in.
That's right. Today we're going to talk about Community Game of the Year. We got quite a bit of feedback from the listeners, so really appreciate that. Got a little bit of news, and we got some distractions, but let's see what's going on. Jason, what's up, dude?
Not much. I don't think anything really new. I've been getting like lots of not Amazon, but the AliExpress packages again.
Oh, no.
Right now I'm hooked on thumbstick grips for my controllers.
What are you doing,
That's such a random thing to be like.
I know. But I can't stop buying them. Like there's Xbox. I didn't know this, but like Xbox is like a different size than like a Nintendo like a Pro
Switch
controller.
Pro controller, yeah.
Yeah. There's fucking different sizes, and obviously like, there's a difference between, Switch and Xbox, but did you know that there's a difference between regular Switch and OLED Switch and light Switch?
No.
It's crazy. So you gotta buy ones for all of them.
Why would there be a difference? Aren't all the Joy-Cons don't all the Joy-Cons work together? Don't they all work on the same? I don't get it.
The light.
Oh, the light. Yeah, okay,
yes.
That makes sense. The light makes sense.
Yeah. So that one's different. But yeah, there are various different ones. There's I've got some that are skulls, some that are dragons, some that are like God of War necklaces, some that are
And send them over here.
Yep.
That was a good old throwback.
Want all the girls flooding your place,
That's
so
right.
send some of them over.
Check out my thumbsticks.
Yeah.
Good old throwback.
You want to rub my nubs?
No, you keep them to yourself.
This one says boy on it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So wait, how did this come?
Like,
Like, were you just like scrolling through AliExpress and we're like, I need some thumbsticks?
I've had some before, but they didn't really do much for me. But what really set me over the edge is this Pocket, this Retroid Pocket 5, this guy right here.
Okay.
So I've got the little skulls on there right now, but the thumbsticks are like Vita sized essentially, or no, they're Nintendo Switch size. So they're a little too small for me. So I decided to get those, and then I got hooked, and now I can't stop myself. I've got some that are coming in that are Sackboy. I can't wait for that. I got some Monster Hunter ones. Oh, they're fucking awesome.
Nice.
I don't
they
have
feel
enough.
nice. They nice and rubberized.
No, not really.
No,
they kind of suck.
Whatever.
They're AliExpress joints.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. That's my excitement. Fucking thumbsticks. All right, Geoff, take it away, man.
Hey, I took part in my first game fantasy draft last night.
Fantasy.
Yeah, I joined some of the GSE peeps, and they were doing a fantasy thing. So I was like, well, fuck it. I've always wanted to do this. I'm like, let's give it a shot. So we drafted last night after about an hour of trying to make sure we understood it all right, even though we like kind of went over it before, like on our own. We thought we had a good grasp on it. And they're like, wait a second. So my team. Let me get to my team. So on paper, I should run away with this.
Okay.
On paper.
Because
I was kind of hoping that a lot of these games weren't on the table when it came my turn to draft. I think there's 6 of us, or maybe 7. And I guess I was kind of swinging for the fences, guys. So, here's my team. So we drafted 5 games, and then we can pick up to 3 games throughout the year as we see need or whatever, or bid on games. So I drafted Doom: The Dark Ages. I was the number 2 pick in the league, so that's what I drafted first. And then it came back around to me, and I was like, well, you know what? I think it's gonna happen. I picked the Switch 2 mainline Mario 3D game. That's not announced yet.
It took me till you said Doom that I realized you weren't talking about sports.
Oh no, video game. Yeah, dude.
I'm like, why are we
And
talking about your fantasy league, man? Come on.
When you real quick pause though. Remind us, because I remember we talked about this before. So remind us how this works again.
So it's like fantasy football, but you're drafting games, and you're basically
And is it based on reviews, or is it based
on
on
reviews? So it's based on the Open Critic score. So any game that scores above 70, you get 1 point. That's above 70. That's what you get. So, and if it goes above 90, the Open Critic, you get 2 points for each point above 90. If the score is less than 70, you get like negative points basically. So you want to draft games that you think are going to have a pretty high Open Critic basically, and you can do a counter pick for each person gets a counter pick, and you have to do it in the draft. So you have to pick a game on someone else's list that you think is either not going to be good, not come out, or because you have to do a counter pick, something that's going to like minimize your damage. Because if you counter pick and the game does come out and does score above 70, you lose the amount of points above 70.
Oh, shit.
So you want to kind of pick a game that you don't think is going to do that well, or that's not coming out. So keep that in mind with my list, because I could be terribly fucked in this situation. So my second one was the Mario 2 or Mario Switch 2 Mario game, which isn't announced.
Oh,
and I on the table at the time, I had Metroid Prime 4 and Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart and Metroid Prime 4 are definitely coming out this year. I don't know about the Mario game, so I might have made a bad one there. Might have, but we can do a drop. You can drop games if you need to down the line. Then it came back around to me, and I was like, well, no one's taken this yet, and I need to swing for the fence again, so I took GTA 6. Do I think GTA 6 is coming out this year? Realistically, no. But if it does come out this year, that's pretty much a guaranteed 90-something score.
Right. But you just kind of teed it up for someone else to say, no, that's not coming out this year.
They did. I think that was counterpicked on my side. Oh, no. Yes, I think it was counterpicked. That or Mario was counterpicked. And then another one of my games was also counterpicked. But because it's counterpicked, if I do score, if it does come out and scores like a 92 or higher, that person loses like 30 points.
Right. Okay.
So that's a good one if it comes out. And then it came back around to me again. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to try again. I took Fable. I mean, Playground games, I have faith in them. Also, could easily be pushed out of 2025.
Right.
And then I pick a kind of safe pick. I needed to have a pick that I think is definitely going to score. I would say 80 at the lowest end, maybe high 70s, maybe. But Obsidian has never released a bad game, so I took a vow with my final draft pick.
This is going to be their first one, I'm telling you.
I don't know, man. I think it's looking good. Previews have been good. I'm hoping it's good. If it's not, well, it's going to hurt my fantasy draft. And then I had a few other games on my radar that weren't picked, but I'm waiting to do the bid so I can, because each team gets $100 of money to make bids on games they want to pick up, and they're games I don't think other people will have on their radar, so I can get some insurance for some other stuff. So, we'll see how this goes. So on
this
paper,
is some Calvin Ball shit, man. Oh my god.
I don't know what Calvin Ball is, but
the rules don't matter. We'll just make them up as we go.
Oh, gotcha. So I think in the league, it does like a prediction. I am predicted to finish first, but again, it really comes down to those 3 games hitting or coming out, and I can drop one. We each have, you can drop as many games you want actually, but the counter pick ones you cannot drop. And I'm pretty sure Fable was counter picked, so I'm pretty much locked into that. And it was either GTA 6 or Mario was also counter picked on mine. So
big swings. Big swings.
But we also have there's a super drop, which a super drop ignores all rules, and you can drop any game. So I'm saving that until I know for sure, until these get release dates. If not, I might have to use it on one of those. But I don't know. It's gonna be fun. We'll see how long
super
it keeps
drop.
Their interest.
Oh my
super
god.
drop. Yeah, it's all about that super drop. But it's pretty cool, man. We should do it as a team one time because I think it'll be fun. It's pretty easy to set up. It sounds complicated, but then once
Is
you actually
there
understand the
is
rules.
there like a site that helps you
Oh
keep
yeah,
track of all this
it's
shit?
all done.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all done on a website. Yeah, it's super easy. You can select like certain games that are allowed or not allowed, like remasters, re-releases, that type of stuff. Like, we put that as not allowed.
DLC.
DLC,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep, yep. That we call that the Keeley one. That's the Keeley games. We said no to. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I did yesterday. The only other exciting thing that happened was um, Tanya got me a label maker because I need a label maker. Because
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of food prep lately, and then I just put stuff in Tupperware and in the freezer, and then I make like 3 different things. So I get food fatigue really easy. I can't eat the same thing every day, or even like alternate between 2 things. I need like a good 3 things. So, and then I'm in the freezer, like I don't know what this is. What is it? And then I've been labeling fucking everything. I'm like anything I put in the freezer, I'm labeling,
That's
even if
awesome.
it's yeah. I'm just like fuck it.
Is it
I'm gonna label
like a
the laptop.
Brothers, like a laser printer type thing? Is it?
Yeah, it's like a small
Yeah.
little
Those
like
rule.
thing that connects to your phone, and you just type in
Holy
what you want it
shit.
to say, and then it just goes bzz and prints out the label, how many copies you need and stuff.
Oh
It's pretty
man.
badass.
Technology.
Yeah.
I get one of those at AliExpress. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
The
I'm
quality
gonna
of
look for them.
those. I'm gonna start labeling like the toilet and stuff like that, and just put my name on everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I own it now.
Yep, it's now mine. That's it. Chris, what about you, bud?
Oh man. Honestly, just glad to be done with this month at work. So I got everything done. So
Yep.
everything's like just put it aside. I took a half day on Monday to just kind of mental health break. I'm hoping that that afternoon is going to be time for me to finish up a game. But I guys, I am pissed off at Best Buy.
Why?
Like I pre-ordered Dynasty Warriors, and
Yeah, it didn't show up. Remember?
it didn't
I
show
remember
up.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and listeners, if you guys have had this problem with Dynasty Warriors, let me know, because for some reason they just could not get this game. So Dynasty Warriors came out. Today is Saturday, February 1st. Came out 2 weeks and a day ago. So yes, like 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yep.
And I had it set up for in-store pickup. They had pre-order bonuses with it. There was like a $10 gift card and like another bonus with it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll do in-store pickup and I'll play it, that day. So here we are 2 weeks later, and they actually warned me, hey, this is taking a little bit longer. If it shouldn't be until the 31st, but if it goes until the 31st, we're going to cancel your order. And I'm like,
What?
well, why are you going to cancel my order? Like, there's pre-order bonuses on there. Like, if anything,
You
at
should
least
be giving me more.
yeah. I mean, it's I satisfied my side of the requirement. I pre-ordered the game. Give me my $10 gift card at least, But
Yeah.
I called them and I was like, listen, I've had it for in-store pickup. They said they're going to cancel it. Can you just switch it to shipping? It won't let me switch to shipping. They're like, oh yeah, we'll do that. I called them 2 days in a row. Had 2 people tell me that they did this, and then it wasn't going to be canceled. And then yesterday it gets canceled last night. So, fucking went through all this stuff trying not to get it canceled, and it got canceled anyway. And I'm like, I've got like 2 or 3 other games that I've got pre-ordered from them. Am I going to go through the same bullshit with that? And that's kind of what happened with Yars Rising too.
Yars Rising?
I pre-ordered Yars Rising for in-store pickup, and they never got it. So I was just like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I want to play it now, so I'm just going to download it digitally.
Yeah.
And I never actually bought the physical copy. So
I'm on the Canadian site right now, and they only have the Switch version, and it's
That's
online
weird.
only. There's no PS4 or Xbox version or anything.
I went back and looked,
PS5.
and it says not available for the PS5 version. So I don't know what's going on with that game, but I really haven't. Have you guys heard anybody talking about it either? Like I've had a couple of people say it was really good, but
Yeah.
I just know
that's all that I've heard.
The what, Jason?
That's all that I've heard is that it's pretty good.
yeah.
I just think physical stuff is going like I just think they're not printing a lot of copies of any of this stuff anymore.
That might be true.
We're not covering it in news, but the report came out that physical sales have dropped like almost 50% since 2020 or something like that. That's insane, and it was already on the decline before that. So yeah,
I want my tangible
like
items. I want my tangible items. Yeah, but that's it. Other than that, everything's going pretty good. Just trying to play games. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Who's first?
I'll go.
All right.
Little game came out. Little game called Eternal Strands. This came out on Game Pass. I think it's available for PlayStation and PC as well. But it's a third-person action adventure game. You star as this like a mage. Actually, you know what? She's like a 3 classes all in one. So she's got melee attacks with like a sword and shield. And she's got magic attacks, which are like telekinesis and like ice blocks and stuff. And then she's got ranged attacks with like a bow and arrow. So you've got everything at your disposal. It's kind of like a physicsy based spell casting system, in that like you're trying to traverse this river of fire or something like that, and you can cast ice to make these ice blocks for you to jump across and make your way across it. Also, you can pick up items, to throw at enemies, or if they throw something at you, you can use your telekinesis to kind of stop it in air, and then throw it back at them.
You can toss them too.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
eat them across the river.
Fucking A. The combat's really pretty smooth. I like it a little bit. It's kind of cool. Geoff, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, I played a bit of this too as well. No worries. It's a kind of game. It's a jack of all trades type of game.
Yeah.
Like master of none a bit. It's very Breath of the Wild meets Shadow of the Colossus meets Monster Hunter meets Kingdoms of Amalur. It's in a fantasy type setting. I really like the art style, albeit it's a bit generic. It looks like a lot of these games kind of look like.
True. I mean, it's a small team, presumably,
it is,
right?
It's indie, yeah.
I think they're punching above their weight. Like they've got a lot of voice acting in it. It looks good. It sounds good. Yeah, I think they're doing a pretty good job.
And the quality's pretty good. It's definitely up there for. And they almost this game almost was donezo. They
oh really?
They were gonna get it published by who the fuck was supposed to someone was supposed to publish it, but then the publisher went under. So they didn't have a publisher in a while. They approached Xbox. I don't think Xbox is publishing it, but they gave them a Game Pass deal basically.
Right.
So that basically allowed them to kind of finish it up. And it does have some people on the team that have come from some developers. I can't remember now. One of the lead designers on. Oh my god, what the fuck was it? I can't remember what the game is now.
Shit, I don't know.
They left that studio to come over and help and do this as well. But yeah, you're like a group of weavers, I guess is what they call themselves, and I don't know what the story is, honestly. I just booted up honestly just to try it because I saw some people talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
The combat is okay. It is, if anything, a bit basic, and it doesn't hit hard. But I've been told that the combat does get better as you play it, because you start off with your bow and arrow and your sword are pretty weak.
Yeah.
But you can level up stuff and get new weapons and stuff like that.
Well, I saw some shit in the trailer where it's like you jump off this thing that you would propel yourself with your telekinesis or something way up in the air, and then as you're up in the air, you do a Breath of the Wild shot down at the enemies and stuff. There's lots of room for experimentation and
yes.
Yeah, it seems really good. Really,
I could see it getting pretty complex too. I did a mission where I had to grab this thing from there's this big frozen area, and I didn't have a fire spell yet, and you have to get it from this frozen town. A bunch of it's frozen. You got to get it from this mayor's office or whatever. But the freezing hurts you, and I'm like, well, how? I kept dying. I'm like, this is hurting me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna bolt in there, run and grab it, come out barely alive, and I go and bring it back. And then I noticed that when I went back, there was 2 other quest markers amongst 2 of the people in my camp, and I'm like, well, let me go talk to them. And of course it's like, hey, how can I what can I do to help my cold resistance? And one of them tells you, oh, if you kill a drake, you can bring me his whatever, and I can make you a fire
It's
a
gallbladder.
mantle. Yeah, it's called yeah, something like that exactly. And then I was like, well, there is a drake there. Like I thought the whole thing was you lure the dragon to go and breathe fire on it, but no, that wasn't working. And I was like, there's no way I can fight this thing. Like I tried shooting at it with my arrow and hitting it with my sword. It did like no damage. So then I went and talked to another person at camp, and she's like, oh, you can use a potion or whatever for resilience or whatever, but I need the materials, so you need to get this or whatever from this, where the kind of like the Monster Hunter stuff comes in, because I was like, you know what, I already did this, but I'm gonna go back and see if I can fight the drake, and I like could not beat it. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, wait, let me try, because I couldn't get it to stay on the ground long enough. But I was like, fuck it. I took my ice spell and just went ham on it while I was flying, and ice builds up on its
Yep.
wings and it drops out of the sky.
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay. And then I went and started slashing it. And this game is like Breath of the Wild in that you can climb everything, including these big monsters. So I grabbed onto it, started hacking at its leg, and it started doing like much more damage. And then it takes off, and I'm dangling on the leg. So it's got like some Dragon's Dogma, some like Monster Hunter type shit. And it's the same thing, like Shadow Claws. You hold down Y or triangle, depending on what you're playing, and you'll hold on, and your stamina will kind of go down. But then you just keep hacking, and once you hit a certain part for a while, you move on to the next part. And I eventually took it down. I'm like, that was pretty fucking cool. That was fun. Like,
Yep.
and that kind of
Nice.
put me back on it, because I was kind of falling off it for a while, because you do fight another big thing before that where you're taking down its armor. And it's very, again, Shadow of the Colossus. But it's not an issue. The music is really good in this game, but it doesn't change when you're in combat. And it's very,
Hmm.
as I'm fighting this dragon and this other colossal thing, it sounded like I was like getting a fucking massage done or something. Like it's like all tranquil type music with like
That sounds great.
whatever. It's like it's great music for a certain mood, but it wasn't for the battles or whatever. But
Huh.
I
That's
think I'm
interesting.
gonna. I have time until my next big release I want to play, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with it for a while. But I'm kind of enjoying it. It's fun. It's getting kind of like in the sevens. I think it's averaging right now, but
That
which is
sounds
fine.
about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only things that I really take issue with it seems like overly punitive. Like there's a stamina bar, and
Yeah.
whether or not you're attacking, you're running, you're jumping.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm frequently running out of stamina,
Yep.
and I know this it's just a resource management, but I'm used to games where that are similar to this, where you don't have a stamina bar.
Yeah.
Not only that, like when you die, you drop all your resources except for like a few,
Mhm.
and that's kind of a bummer. And you can't just like corpse run back and get them; they're just
They're
gone.
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's yeah,
That
that
is
kind of
kind of a
sucks.
pain. You can level that up so you can hold on to more
Sure.
resources. So that's
Mhm.
another thing. At your camp, you can upgrade stuff. So this is where kind of like resource management comes in. You can upgrade parts of the camp, like the blacksmith and the magic guy and stuff like that. And you can either choose to put your
Hey, I'm the
resources in to
magic
do that.
guy.
Exactly. Yeah. um, to do that, or you can put your resources in upgrading your own armor and weapons, or making new armor and weapons. And I usually hate that type of stuff. So when I saw that like in reviews, I was like, oh, that's already kind of like a maybe. Like I don't know about it for me,
Mhm.
but it's done at a very basic level so far. That's easy for me to understand. That's what I need with that kind of stuff. It's basically like it shows you what you need of everything, and like it's like, okay, I have it, I don't have it. Okay, then if I don't have it, I'll come back later or go look for it. So you
Right.
are gathering resources and putting it into your camp and stuff like that. I'm not that much further than you are. I think I'm like 3 hours in or something like that. So
Okay.
it's not
Yeah.
too far. And that includes like it's hard. I'm like, it's hard when you get like 3 or 4 enemies, especially I'm not sure if you fought the invisible lizard things.
Yeah, I got gated by that. I'm
They're
like,
annoying.
shit, I didn't know where to go. Like I thought that it was like a gate. Like I'm like, fuck, this is I can't go this way. Let me try and find some other way to go.
Yeah, yeah, they're annoying, and yeah, it's in the combat. You don't hit hard at the beginning, and your
No.
spells even are very like low damage.
Hmm.
But throwing a rock with your telekinesis and smacking them, and it takes them out in one hit. That's really satisfying. I just can't do it all the time yet, but And even the magic resource, like you run out of your magic really quick. It does build up once you stop using it, but you can't really use your spells for too long before having to cool down.
Sure.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, if anyone's listening, it's on Game Pass, so give it a shot. I'm not sure how much it is.
$40.
Yeah,
$40.
$40.
Okay, so
Yeah.
at least it's okay. So it's not a full price game at all. But it's
interesting.
entertaining. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fun. It's not bad at all. It's kind of cool.
Good
Came out
stuff.
of nowhere for me. I don't know. Aside from that and playing retro stuff on my various handhelds, I played a demo of a game that piqued my interest. It looked like a 3D Castle Crashers, in like 3D models. I should say, not like it's a top down or anything like that. Anyway, It's called Big Helmet Heroes. This is $20. It comes out in a few days. But it plays very much like a Castle Crashers. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, to be sure. There's different classes, and I think that's like due to the weapons that you pick up. I'm not quite sure. Like I've only playing single player. So like if I pick up a sword and shield, then I'm a warrior. But if I pick up daggers, then I'm a rogue or something like that. But I think in the single player stuff, you can actually swap between your different classes, like on the fly. I'm not sure if it's like that in the multiplayer games, but yeah, there's regular attacks, your melee stuff. You've got special attacks on Y, and then you've got like a alt attack, that you build up. Which are pretty, ridiculous looking. Like you throw a stream of sheep at your enemies. Like
what?
It's just ridiculous. It's funny. It's comedic. It's just silly, but it's good fun. I'd like it. It's like $20. Or if you want to play it a few days, if you want to play it a few days early, I think it's like 25 or something like that. You can play it like a day or two. So, here's the shitty thing though.
The rub.
Yeah. There's no online multiplayer.
Oh man.
Couch co-op only.
And drained. That's that's a shame.
Yeah, I saved that for the end there. Otherwise, I was going to lose you guys.
I was about to hit that buy now button, and then whoa.
Yeah. No, it's cool. You play it with T.
She probably wouldn't play. Maybe I'll show her a trailer and see what she thinks. Is it on consoles or is it just PC?
It's coming on console. Switches and Xboxes and stuff.
Cool.
But she can throw sheep. Just tell her she can.
I mean, that's a selling point for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about her.
Both throw sheep.
Throw sheep.
Yeah.
Throw sheep. maybe
Neither
for
of
the
us
Switch.
are Scottish, so
maybe for the Switch.
Maybe for the Switch. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's me.
Word.
Geoff, what else you got?
I finished Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Nice.
I keep playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I really like that game, man. I got to give kudos to Mr. Scott Sauer, bitch pig himself, because I remember years ago, we kind of gave him, because he's a huge Ninja Gaiden fan. We weren't like, we didn't hate Ninja Gaiden, but I remember we had a big time beef with especially the camera, which,
sure,
let's be honest, still kind of sucks. It's hard to have a camera that could keep up with how fast that game is. So I get it. This is it's way early in 2025, but I can't see this being knocked off my top 10 for this year. This year would have to be pretty fantastic for it to be knocked off there, and I really, really, really like it. I do think it's definitely easier than the original. I can't really compare it to how
that's such a bad thing, though.
No, not at all. That's why I'm saying. That's why I think I really, really liked it, because I was. It might be a little bit tad too easy because I died once the entire game. So the bosses are kind of pushovers because of how much health items you get. If you just keep them until you get to a boss, you're pretty much gonna get through them. I had more problems with more of the mob type situations towards the end. That's where I died. My one time is where you actually fight the first boss, but you're fighting two of them at the same time. That part kind of messed me up a bit. But yeah, I hope 4 is good. I went back and played 3 after this, and it's it's a game that stars Ryo Hayabusa. Uh, they get they totally catered it to the Western audience at the time when this came out because they're dropping f bombs every 5 minutes. It's edgier. Uh, yeah, the fighting still feels good. The fighting still feels great, but there's too much stuff happening in between the fighting that the other games just didn't have. Like there's longer cutscenes, there's more story, there's fucking quick time events for climbing up a wall. You literally alternate left and right bumpers to climb up the wall. Um, and this is after the fixes. Like I played the Razor's Edge version, which is the re-release where they altered some stuff to make it a little bit better. So I might be done with that. And then I went back and tried Ninja Gaiden Black because Scott was suggesting I need to do that. And oh my god, that game has the worst camera in the history of cameras that have ever cameraed. Like it is. I forgot it controlled this way, but the right stick doesn't control the camera. The second you touch the right stick, it goes into first person mode.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, the camera doesn't follow the character or auto adjust. You have to manually I think it's
Hit a button to
it's left
point
trigger,
it
I think.
forward.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And after how many years of playing dual stick games, especially third person, and using my right thumb, I could not get my brain to tell my hand to stop touching the right thumb to look. It took me 5 minutes to get past the very part of that game, the very beginning where you haven't even fought anybody yet, and it's teaching you how to climb a ledge and to get into a higher part to climb up there. Just trying to get the camera right and not touch the right stick without falling off the ledge and having to run around and climb back up. And I was like, I just can't do this right now. Like I can't rewire my brain to do it. This is impossible. This is the dumbest camera. I don't know how we put up with it back then. Or maybe we didn't because I never finished it. Oh no, I finished the original. I didn't finish Black, but I guess I'm sure that has the same camera.
Yeah, probably.
So I might put that on the back burner for a while, or maybe play Sigma 1 first. I don't know. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden Black 2, man, so good. I fucking loved it.
But it's hard to
great.
go back. It's hard to go back.
It is, for sure.
I get you.
What else? Oh, Symphony of Night. Symphony of Night update. I am just about to fight Richter, which is right before the castle flips, I think. Okay. Chris, I believe. Chris, can you confirm or deny?
Apologies. I lost the sound for a minute. What happened?
I'm just at where you're about to fight Richter for in Symphony of Night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have so what have you done up to that point?
I've done the stuff before.
Have you met Maria?
Richter?
Have you met Maria? Okay.
Yes.
That's the important part. As long as you've met Maria, you should have okay. I
found stuff. I have the holy stuff. I mean, we can spoil stuff. The game's like fucking 13,000.
Do you have the glasses?
Yes, I do.
Make sure you're wearing the glasses when you fight Richter. That's the important part. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
After that, besides that, that's all you have to do.
Okay, cool. So I think I saved it right before that, and then I had to go do stuff. So that's where I am there. And then I've been playing more of that Lonely Mountain Snow Riders.
I don't know what that one is.
I'm on a boat, motherfucker. It's I talked about it a bit last week. It's a second game from this company. I can't remember what they're called, but they made a game called Lonely Mountain Downhill, like in 2019 or 20 area, and you're basically going down on a mountain bike. It's isometric kind of thing. It's really fun, and this is that, but skiing. And it's addictive. It's challenging and addictive because it's got that trials thing to it where you just want to keep trying.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Getting a better
I remember you talking about this last week.
Yeah. So I've just been messing with those pretty much, but basically been.
And there's like a co-op mode to that, isn't there?
There is. Yes. Weird. There is a competitive and like a co-op where you can ski down like together and stuff and race. I haven't tried that yet.
Okay.
Though. But it does have that kind of stuff. It's really cool. It's fun. That's basically it. Yeah. The main games have been the Eternal Strands and Ninja Gaiden too. So Chris,
Good stuff.
lay it on us.
I don't have a whole lot to add. Mainly Dragon Age. Like I'm still chipping away at that. But I'm almost done. So I finished all of the companion quests. And I'm wrapping up some side quests right now before I go further into the story quest. But according to my encyclopedia of Dragon Age knowledge, my wife, I'm I'm pretty close to the end. Like I'm about to start like the Act 3 like roller coaster. So
you've done the mission then I asked you about last week about Milfred.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk after. I want to ask you a question about that. But
I did that, and I did the one. So I did end up Manfred. I did do the romance with Balara. And unfortunately, based on what Crystal told me, the interaction for her her end game mission doesn't change.
Really?
So yeah, that was one of the things, because there's certain things that happen based on what she's told me, like because she romanced Nev, Lucaris, and I can't remember her what other character she romanced, but there was one other one that she did. And she said, especially like with Nev and Lucaris, it was different, like whether she romanced them or not. So, but Balara doesn't look like it is. But that's okay. I kind of liked the way it worked for her.
Because I wonder if because there is a part at the end and the last thing that I did switch. I did actually reload because something happened, and there was two different things that could happen to Balara. So I'll talk when you finish it.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if Crystal's talking about the same thing or if it's a different part of the last act.
I'm talking about the ultimate, ultimately what happened to her brother. So that's what I'm talking about. Because there was like one of the things that her and I talked about is it possible that changes? And
that I don't know.
It did not change. It did not change.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still really enjoying it. Like as I get deeper into the game, I keep finding things that are like, I don't mean to make a build with this game. I didn't really mean to, but I kind of ended up that way. So right now, like I talked about last week, like building off of fire and perfect defense. One of the other things that I'm doing is I've basically, so every character has like their resource that they charge up during battle, right? So I think it was momentum for the thief, right? For the rogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And for the warrior, it's rage. So I got a helmet that says you now have negative 75% rage generation. None of your moves use rage anymore. Everything is on a cooldown. But for every 2 points of rage, your attack goes up 1%. So as you're charging your rage, you're getting stronger and stronger. Like your attacks are doing more and more damage. Did you ever use runes at all?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. Because the only thing that I've used runes for is their passive. I have not used them at all.
Oh yeah, I use them a little bit. Like I definitely use them as passives for sure, and I definitely put them in some of the weapons and things like that.
Well, not the enchantments, just like the runes. You can have the 3 runes that are out to the side. And
I use those.
And
when you do
hit
that
R1 and hit triangle.
Yeah, they trigger the
So I've never used them. I always just put them there for passives, but I've never actually actively used them until I found one today that said that it gives you 100% rage.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally walk into a battle, kick off the rune, and based on the amount of rage that I've got 300. My max rage is 300. I now do 150% more damage, like out of the gate. So like the game is super fun, but I feel like I needed to play on hard because I'm just walking through everything.
I didn't even do something that crazy, and I was walking through shit towards the end. It's really weird. You really like, become OP towards the end for sure.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. And that's the thing. It's like I didn't feel like I really had to do much to get there. You know? Because I haven't bought anything. Like quite
I
literally, I
didn't
have
buy
not
anything either.
spent a dime. It's
Outside
all
of the missions you
been
have to. That's it.
yeah, exactly. But it's all been stuff that I found. And one thing I really like is I didn't sell anything either. So I always had like everything I pick up, I just keep it. And I like the mechanic in this game that if you find a copy of something you already have, it basically
That's how it
combines them
levels
and
it up.
increases the power. Exactly. I love that. But yeah, I'm still very much enjoying the game. It will certainly be on my I most likely will be on my top 5 for 2024 because I'm having a lot of fun with it. I like that it's different than for this game than previous BioWare games that I've played, where if you're not romancing a character, yeah, they're doing some of their own shit, so it's like there's actually so you romance Nev, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't romance Nev, she hooks up with someone else in the group.
She's going to get it one way or the other.
She's good, yeah.
and there's another. I don't. You may or may not know what it is, but there's another relationship that forms if you don't interact with one of the two characters. So it's just neat that the way that they. I seriously, I know that you had an issue with how quickly things got resolved and stuff like that, but I love the interactions with the characters. I really do. And the Manfred conversation, I have to tell you, so like after the show when we chat, remind me to tell you about the conversation that he and Lucaris had at the end after I'd made that decision, because it was hilarious. And I told Crystal about it, and she hadn't heard that interaction, and she was just dying about it. It was funny.
Very cool.
Yeah, good game. And then the other thing is that still plugging away a little at a time on Blade Chimera. It's super fun. It's a little Metroidvania. I love it. So
good shit.
I'm trying to chop away at those. But yeah, that's it. So pass it back over to you for some news.
All right, we got a little bit of news here. Not too much. Some I guess pretty big stuff, but not too big. If you didn't see this coming, everyone saw this stuff coming. The first one people didn't see coming, but that is Moon Studios is hinting at a possible Ori 3 game. The owner, or I guess the lead of that dev team, spoke in like a Reddit saying that they've been speaking to Xbox to possibly work on Ori 3. He didn't confirm it, but he said there were talks, but right now they're focused on finishing
No Rest for the Wicked.
No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because there's rumors that they had a really bad breakup after Ori 2 because of some stuff that was happening at the dev studio. But who knows what you can and can't believe these days. So I am happy that there might be a possibility of Ori 3 when it looked like that was going to be done with. So that's very cool. Sony has done a little bit of a shakeup to their hierarchy, so to speak. They had a co-CEO situation with Herman Hulst and God, what's the other guy's name? I can't remember, and for some reason I deleted it from Hideki Nishino. They were like co-CEOs, but now they've promoted Hideki to be the actual head of Sony Interactive. So Hulst will now report directly to him, so there's no longer a co-CEO situation. People originally thought Hulst was Hearst. Is Hulst or Hearst? I always forget.
I don't know.
But whether he was laid off or demoted, he wasn't. He still has the same role. He's just now has someone he has to.
It's like Highlander. There can be only one.
There can be only one. So who knows if they're trying to right the ship of the games as a service debacle, which has been going on lately. So hopefully they can improve those things there. And the other one is Microsoft announced that Forza Horizon 5 is hitting the PS5 in spring.
I don't know how I feel about this.
That's no,
like
it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm happy for PlayStation people, but like you're just giving it up now, man. Like shit.
I think
giving
that's
it away to anybody.
Move.
Well, I mean,
that's one of their most. That's probably is their most successful multiplayer game for the last few years, and I think it's going to do gangbusters on PS5. There's a hole in that genre on PS5. They got Gran Turismo that comes out every 6
But
years.
Horizon is more arcadey, right? It's more of a.
It's kind of I wouldn't call it arcadey, but it's more arcadey than Forza proper for sure.
Yeah,
Motorsport,
and Gran Turismo, right? So.
Yeah, definitely more arcadey than both of those. So it fills a void that hasn't been there. But I don't think it's stopping there. Like I 100% think Halo and Gears of War collection, which has been rumored for a while, I think that's hitting PlayStation 5 on day one, probably this year. And I think Halo will also be announced for PlayStation 5 this year, the Halo Master Chief Collection. And I think it just makes sense to keep those franchises with the biggest thing. Like that's what Microsoft's doing now. They are basically building a dynasty, is what they're doing. They're the biggest publisher right now with games. Last year they were the number one publisher in sales.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Call of Duty had a big part of that, but they have Call of Duty. They own that now, so that's every year.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're gonna do that. The thing with me is the hardware. I want to see what their next hardware is. I have no problem with them going multi-platform for absolutely everything because I don't invest in Sony or Microsoft. Like I don't own stocks, so
yeah,
and I have access to both. So I don't care. I see why people do care. People get attached to their hardware and they want to be like, well, if they're sending all this stuff over to PlayStation, why can't we get like God of War or Spider-Man or something like that?
Part of it with me is like I want healthy competition in the marketplace as well. Like I want them to be kind of neck and neck, and in order to push one another.
100%. That's why I think it comes down to the hardware, and it's been rumored for a while now, for at least the last couple of months, that Microsoft and Valve and Epic have been very chummy recently, and there's been alluding that the next Xbox is going to be more open and it's going to run other storefronts. And if that happens, that's the differentiator right there. It's
now you're just talking about
basically a console Steam Deck. Yeah,
I was going to say like a living room, like PC box, right? Essentially.
Exactly, because the Steam, the rumor was that they were going to allow consoles and people to license out that stuff and make their own
Steam
consoles.
OS,
Microsoft's like, hey, listen, we wanted to make a new console. We want to be able to have it run Steam. Does a couple things for Microsoft. One, developers don't have to make a separate version for a specific console. It could be like the Steam Deck, like Jason said, where it's like there's settings specifically for this box, gets verified or whatever. It's basically the PC version.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it gets everything on Steam that wouldn't be on an Xbox, and that would include Sony games.
I think for me, it's like with this generation, with the way they approached this generation, where they're basically putting everything at the same time on Xbox and on PC, they kind of already opened up the no exclusives door for them.
Yeah.
So
console exclusive specifically.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily have any issues with them releasing things on PlayStation. I think it does make them more money because they're going to end up, putting, having how many more consoles, how many more PS5s are out there than Xbox,
at least double.
Series X's right now.
At least double.
So it gives them a much wider range, wider audience. But I'm with Jason too, because I certainly want to keep that competition. And I don't think they look at Nintendo as competition, because I think Nintendo is its own thing at this point. And I think it's Nintendo that has no competition right now. And that's kind of the problem.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing. That's why all of their games are still fucking full price, right? So, I honestly, I feel like Astrobot was one of the first things that really gave Nintendo any competition at all, and like especially in that space, in like the Mario space. So I would like to see more competition across the board. So I like Horizon, not Horizon, but Forza Horizon is I certainly am behind that getting over there, but I kind of want them to keep Halo and Gears to themselves. Like just Like if you know,
Have some
keep that.
dignity, man.
Like those are your properties. That's kind of what got you started. Like that's what got you started.
But
you know?
but you get to a point though when you're being outsold consoles, they're no longer going to be pushing for that because it doesn't matter at this point. Anyone who ever likes Halo or Gears, they have an Xbox already or they have a PC.
Yeah.
The market for them isn't going to grow in the console space at all. So their competition will still be there as long as they have a console that competes with the PS5. But they're still going to put their games on it because they still have Game Pass. That is like their golden goose because that's making them like something. It's something crazy. They have 30 million. Even if you did the math on 30 million subs times the base Game Pass amount, that is a shitload of money they make every month just from that. Plus all the sales they're going to get on PS5 and Steam that they get. So as long as they have a console to sell to the people like me that don't want to go into the PC market, at least not anytime soon, that competition will still be there. But if they decide not to do that and not to do hardware, which we know they're not doing at least for one more generation, that's where I get worried because then it just becomes the PlayStation against the Switch. And like you said, Chris, they don't really look at each other as competition because Sony's always going to have the higher end over Nintendo. It's not going to matter.
It's fidelity versus fun.
Yeah,
you know, that's kind of the way I look at it. Like, and it's not to say that Sony's not fun, but like they focus on
it's a younger
audience.
Family, exactly.
That's probably a better word. It's a fidelity versus family, right? So it's probably a better word for it. So out of curiosity, like, do we know? Have they reported like how much profit Microsoft makes off of Game Pass?
I don't know.
Not because profit, no.
They've certainly talked about revenue. Like they're making a shit ton of revenue, but like they got to pay those developers for those games. So I'm really curious, like how much do they like? You know, I know they're in the $5+ billion revenue like area, but how much of that is actually profit
per month though, right?
No, that's a year.
A year?
So they do it's like 300 million a month essentially. Like that's from what I've seen.
Considering a game costs 300 million to make, you could rule that high out. It's definitely not that much to sign. I'm sure it's a percentage of what they say what they would lose on the Xbox sales. They probably go to the publisher and say, "Listen, like this is what you're projected to sell here. We'll give you this amount." Are they making a profit on it? Probably. I think they're probably making a profit on Game Pass versus the money they spend to get games into Game Pass. But then when you take into all their other expenditures, probably not right now. But I think in terms of what they pay out to Game Pass to what they get in, I think they would be making a profit on $300 million a month because they're not paying each developer like $10 million. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I would love to see it. Like I'm so curious about the model and how well it's doing for them because I still have Game Pass. Like I didn't have it for a long time, and then sometime last year, you guys talked about a few games that were on Game Pass, and I'm like, all right, I'll sign up, and then I haven't gotten rid of it yet. So I'm still
this
year's
been their strongest start to a year for sure.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot right now, and I know that like Phil Spencer at one point did say they were profitable, but he didn't give any details about by how much, right?
No.
So. Yeah, I don't know.
They just do like revenue, whatever, and then
super curious
and sales numbers, and those sales numbers are just sales, not including on Game Pass. The way I look at it is, if they were losing a shitload of money on Game Pass, they wouldn't be pushing it so hard up still now, especially going into this year after the crazy spending spree they went to get like Activision Blizzard and Bethesda.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're pumping. Like that direct every single time they could say Game Pass, they said Game Pass or flash it on the screen. So if that was the case, I think you'd kind of see them kind of shying away from that for a little bit. But we'll see. It's the whole landscape's changing. Like the next couple of years, the next generation is going to be very interesting.
I'm wondering if like I know that Sony's already said that PS6 is a thing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
I'm wondering how many more we're going to see after that though. You know, 27. I think they said.
Is it going to be all digital at this point? Not digital. What's the word? Streaming after that or something? Is it going to be?
I don't know. Either that or maybe it's all about, you know, it's less about like specific consoles from people like Sony and more about putting little black
Better
boxes in your
thumbsticks
entertainment
out.
system. Better thumbsticks, that's right.
Get your Toshiba console underneath there. Your
well, they tried to do that once, right?
Mitsubishi.
Sure.
Yeah, it didn't
With
work
The
well.
Sony
3DO.
XI.
with the 3DO. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember the 3DO?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's too
Panasonic and
expensive.
Gold Star.
It was
Sure.
Panasonic, Gold
Panasonic,
Star, and there
Gold
was
Star,
like
yeah.
one other one, and I can't remember what it was. But
JVC. No, that's
See,
the
that doesn't work.
XI.
Which one?
I was thinking of the JVC XI.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, though those don't work though because those manufacturers at the time, at least at the time, their only revenue came from hardware sales, so they had to charge above market to make any type of profit. Whereas Sony, Microsoft can lose money off hardware and then make the money everywhere else. So Sony has their subscription service. Microsoft has their subscription service. They can afford to drop these consoles at like $100 less than they cost to make, or I don't know how much they lose on every one sold at the beginning, and not have to worry about that. Other manufacturers though, they're like, no, we're going to be $200 more than the competitors, but please buy ours. Ours will, I don't know, come with a free pizza coupon or something. I don't know.
Ooh,
They did back then.
Once
3DO was
again,
crazy expensive.
thumbsticks.
3DO,
Yes.
3DO launched at like $700
insane.
or
And
something like that.
Like 92
and then
or something, 93.
92, 93, something like that.
Jesus.
And then it dropped pretty quick. And then by 94, it was $400, I think.
Wow.
Something like that. And then the Gold Star version came out, and there were, you could get the Gold Star version, I think, was cheaper than the Panasonic one or something like that. And I don't remember. But yeah, the store that we worked at, it had them. Like that was like the before like we started importing the new Japanese consoles. It was the thing that was on the big TV in the very front of the store.
I can't tell you how many times I listened to Rusty Cage from Soundgarden.
Road Rash.
Yeah.
Road Rash, yeah. Yeah, Road Rash, and like the first Need for Speed, man, like they were really good on that's where like
Super Street Fighter was
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah.
That's one of the only consoles that had a Star Control 2, which I always loved. Like, Star Control 2 was a fucking great game.
Oh my god, I still have my star map somewhere.
Do you?
Really?
Oh man,
Yeah.
that game was so good.
Tell me about it. Shit.
Yeah, and then like that's where Gex started. I mean, there was some pretty interesting stuff on 3DO. I just think the model didn't work. Yeah, that's right.
Fuck yeah! Is the ROG Ally, is that more expensive than Steam Deck by quite a bit, or are they roughly the same price?
A little bit. I think it's like $200-300 more. I think.
Okay.
They've got a new model that just came out too, so or it's coming out in a few days. Anyway,
Gotcha.
It's about $1,000, I think.
Well, buckle up, people, because it's gonna get interesting, especially with all this tariff stuff that your president's doing. So that's gonna make things even worse.
Can we please not mention?
I came here for a break, man.
$1,200 consoles coming soon.
It's been 2 weeks and everything's fucking shit already. Like I don't know how he did it. It's a record.
Well, let's talk about happier stuff. Let's talk about fun games that people played last year. How about we do that?
I like that idea. Let's do that.
Let's do it. So, of course, this is our annual listener game of the year, in which we reached out to all you guys and said, hey, what did you guys like playing? What did you not like playing? And then we're going to compile the data. Chris is going to compile the data. And based on a really specific and
very scientific
and
proven algorithm, yes.
We are going to we're going to name the listener game of the year for 2024.
I already got it figured out. It's pretty close. It's pretty interesting.
Sweet. Right. Don't ruin the magic.
I'm not going to. Go for it.
It's not magic, it's science.
Steve, he says, number 1, Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
That was not on my list.
Wait, who is this? I'm sorry.
Again this year, it was not on your list. Dark Magical Man, Steve.
Dark Magical Man. Banishers was number 2. I like that game. That's a very good AA game, people. Silent Hill 2. Number 4 is Returnal. 5 is Dredge. Oh, we did, just for those listening who might not have sent theirs, we're taking in any game you played last year, basically what your favorite games you played last year were.
Yeah. When we compile, it's going to end up being a game from last year either way, so it's fine.
Yeah. The ones that don't have a shot in hell. King of the Cask is number 1. Baldur's Gate 3, and that's the winner, guys. Thank you for showing up.
Thanks for thanks for joining. We're all done.
Number 2, Helldivers 2.
Nice.
Number 3, The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Have you guys played that? I think that's on consoles now, isn't it?
Well, it is on consoles, and actually, go to PSN now and you can get it for free. I think it's one of the January games, but you only got until Tuesday, so go get it now. I
can do it on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
But I never played it. Is Ultra Deluxe, is that a re-release of Stanley Parable? Or
it's a re-release. Yeah, they added some stuff to it for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't downloaded it, so I want to give it a shot.
His number 4 is Little Kitty Big City.
Aw.
It's a cute game. Number 5 is Gris. I don't know what that is. I've seen it. I know it's been on Game Pass.
Is it pronounced Gris?
Gris? I have no idea.
Gree? I think it's Gree.
Gree? Is it Gree?
That sounds right.
Let's agree to disagree.
Oh,
ouch!
Nice one, that was really good.
Did you hear me roll my eyes? I'm not sure if you heard that.
That was one of your best yet.
Thank you. Thanks for sending that in. We got one from Mike, longtime listener and friend from back in the VG Evo days. LWT.
Mike.
His number 1 is Metaphor Refantasio.
Mike wins. Show's over. Thanks.
We've ended the show twice now.
We're good. Yeah, we've ended it twice now.
Number 2 is Astrobot. I think there might be a lot of those. Number 3 is Silent Hill 2. Number 4 is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Number 5 is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Now, luckily I saw this before I compiled it, but then he bumped his Discord, which it doesn't work like that. You can't really bump a Discord, but he said bumped Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So he added that in the last second there.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what that meant. Because
that's what I'm assuming what it meant. Because people would say bump back in the day in like forums.
I thought he was saying that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth got bumped off the list.
Oh, maybe he is saying, you know what?
Yeah,
aren't I the asshole? Yeah, maybe
that's the way I took it. That's the way I took it. Mike, why don't you let us know?
Yeah, Mike, I think you're right. I think that's exactly what he meant, is that it bumped that off. Or thank you, Mike. Twornix. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Twornix. If not, let me know in the Discord. Number 1, Astrobot.
Nice.
Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
Number 3, Metaphor Refantasio. Number 4, Bellatro. Number 5, Helldivers 2.
Yes. Yes.
Helldivers was really, really good. That was such a. I was so.
They're still updating that.
Yeah, like that's how you run a games by the service. Like they're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job. And whenever people get pissed, and it's happened a few times now, when they announce something, they tend to change it really quickly and be like, "Oh, okay, we'll change that."
Yeah.
Bellatro I play every day, so I just don't bring it up. But it's so good. Oh, game's addicting. Shfake, his number 1, Astrobot. Number 2, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Now, I am very surprised about that.
Dragon's Dogma 2?
No, I'm surprised that Astrobot beat out Dragon's Dogma 2, because you have to understand about Shfake, like, Dragon's Dogma is like his jam. It's okay. So the fact that Astrobot beat it, I'm impressed.
All right. Well, number 3 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Nice.
Number 4, Stellar Blade. First announcement says Stellar Blade is really good.
That's going to be on my list for sure.
And number 5 is Jedi Survivor. And then he follows up with basically the only games I played that actually released in 2024.
Hey, that's okay.
That's pretty good though. Those are all really good games.
Survivor was last year, but that's okay.
Survivor's on Game Pass now too.
Was Survivor?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Survivor was last year, but that's right. Or I should say 2023. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sass Bob. We can skip him. He's not important. Sass Bob, his number 1 is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. He just started playing that actually, I think recently.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this game. He has told me a little bit about it, but have you guys played it or seen it at all?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I suggested it to him actually because he's we were going back and forth about like different puzzles games because both of our kids play Dreams. PlayStation Dreams.
Okay.
So yeah, we were kind of trading stuff back and forth, and I suggested that to him, and he's like, "Yep, right up my alley." So
nice. Yeah, he's been raving about that recently.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Excellent.
Number 3 is Astrobot. Number 4 is Bellatro. And number 5 is Helldivers 2.
Helldivers.
A lot of Helldivers 2 left there too.
That's a good list.
Jared O is number 1.
What's up, Jared?
Astrobot. Number 2, Balatro. Balatro. Number 3, Animal
Sound
Well.
tight.
Animal Well. Nice.
First Animal Well. Video Donkey. He published that.
Yep.
Stellar Blade.
He's the only one who did.
He's the only one. Number 5, Indiana Jones. The Great Circle.
I'm glad to see so much Indiana Jones love, because that was it was kind of late in the year, so
yeah, that's why we do this in February.
That's
it's not because we're lazy and we want to finish our own stuff and we just keep putting it off. It's because we want.
No, it absolutely is that. That is why. That's why we do it.
It's one of the main reasons.
Stop lying to people, Geoff. Damn.
But it is good. Well, technically, it is true because it gave us. You're going to finish Dragon Age before we do ours. I finished Silent Hill 2, so it does give us some time to finish up stuff that we wanted to get to, and that's the same way for people too. But I think that's why if we did this like mid-December, Indiana Jones wouldn't be on half of these probably. Right.
True.
Evil Pirate John, another OG.
What's up, man?
Number 1, Astrobot. That's just okay. It's going to Astrobot. It's so obvious at this point. Number 2, Hellblade 2. Hey, first Hellblade. Way to go, John. Number 3, Final Fantasy 16 was great, but I didn't think this should count. Oh, okay. So we'll count it because you did play it. So
yeah.
The only other 2024 game that I played was Final Fantasy Rebirth, and I just don't feel like it's Game of the Year material. Agreed, John.
Man, it's pretty though.
It is pretty. It is very pretty. Yeah.
Jason, have you tried? I've heard Spider-Man 2's got some port issues on PC.
Issues, I wouldn't call them.
Okay.
Little hiccups here and there. There's some caching issues. Like they do shader caching. The preload. And it'll hiccup like every once in a while. But other than that, like fucking, you put on frame generation, like you throw on ray tracing. And I'm getting like 70, 80 frames per second. Like,
no kidding.
And that's with like full ray tracing on. So
holy crap.
Why are people going crazy online being like, oh, it's such a shitty port? Doesn't sound that bad at all.
It's not. As far as I can tell, it's totally not. And I watched 2 other videos that were, that mirrored what happened with me. So I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad at all.
Oh, and it's fucking pretty. Oh my God. Pretty.
Oh, I bet.
Oh.
I bet. It looks great on
Spider-Man. Make happy Jason.
Yeah, with all those fucking frames and that ray tracing. This is the first time that I've like really appreciated ray tracing.
They do a good job of it in Spider-Man, like with all the buildings and everything. Like it's well done.
Yeah.
Jeff Wildman, also known as Better Tomorrow.
What's up, Jeff?
OG. He says, I played one game in 2024, and it was Fracture for the 360. Fracture 360 is my 2024 game of the year. Do you guys remember this game? I remember this game.
I do not remember this game.
It's like a first person. I think it was first person, and you can like terraform like the ground, like create like mountains and hills and stuff. If it's the game I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
I remember it got quite a bit of hype around the time when it was coming out, but I think it kind of like fizzled. I don't think it ended up supposed to be that good.
Yeah, Fracture is meant to be a run and gun shooter on a constantly deforming wide terrain.
Yeah,
with a high verticality and no cover mechanic.
Yeah. Well, it was good enough for Geoff to name it his 2024 Game of the Year when it came out in like, I don't know what,
2008.
2008. Holy shit.
I pulled it up, so I've got it in front of me. It's nice. 2008.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Jay Hest, he says,
Jay.
Hey, Geoff, here's my list. 5. He's going in reverse order. 5. Star Wars Outlaws. 4. Sea of Stars. 3. Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. Yes.
Nice.
I wish more people need to play that.
Yeah, it's great.
Number 2, Balatro. Number 1, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
That's on my backlog now too. I didn't finish that, did I?
And said, here's my damn it took me long enough to try list. Chrono Trigger. Oh wow.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons. Okami, and the Stanley
Damn it.
Parable, and Dead Cells.
Yeah.
That's a good list.
I can't read the next one, guys. I just you
Oh,
can
okay.
read the next one.
I'll get the next one. So this is from Tawny.
Okay.
Thank you
Sounds cute.
for. Oh yeah. Okay. So thanks for emailing in, and she says I only have my top 2, Balatro and Dragon Age.
Weird.
I knew
My
it.
wife only plays those. What were we saying,
It's
Jason?
amazing.
I knew those were going to be the 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I did too.
Crazy. You guys are fucking like I don't know.
Fucking psychic, man.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you, Tawny. She'll be like, "Did you read my email?" Of course we did. Love you.
It was one line. We couldn't skip it.
She's doing such a good job in Balatro too. She's cleaning house, and she's getting towards the end of Dragon Age too. So Chris and Tawny should do a spoiler cast.
Yeah, I'd listen to
that. Just Dan, he says, I've only played like 12 or so that came out last year, but here's my top 5. Only played 12 or so that came out last year. Number 1, Stalker 2. He's a huge post-apocalyptic guy, so that's not surprising. Yeah. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Nice.
Number 3, Hellblade 2. Number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And number 5, Flintlock.
Oh.
Flintlock will be on my list too, Dan, most likely. That game is a sleeper. I liked it. Seth Man.
Seth
Number 1.
What's up, Seth Man?
Balatro. Number 2. Zenless Zone Zero.
Oh.
I have not played that. I've seen people mention
it.
It's
pretty good. It's another pretty looking
it's
anime game.
Yeah, it's another free service gotcha game.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. That did not me up. There we go.
Oh, damn.
Pun totally not intended, but it works. 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. 4, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2.
Nice.
Good pick. So good. 5, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
All right, good one.
Tommy Tapio. He says, I hope I'm saying that right.
Calorico.
Oh, God, no, don't do that to him.
The Amico. Number 5.
Oh, God. He says, maybe Dragon's Dogma 2. I haven't tried Great Circle yet. That's what they wrote on the Blue Skies. I think that's what they come from. So he's going with Dragon Dogma 2.
Yep. I like it.
James H. 1. Balatro. It was the perfect travel game to play for months, where I clocked up to 60 hours on iPhone. On coming back to England, I deleted the game due to the addiction.
Oh,
then,
man.
like any addict, I soon reinstalled it to find my save had been wiped. I have not played since.
Holy shit.
Oh, that would suck. Especially in that game.
That's one way to stop playing.
Yeah, seriously.
My save game's gone. I'm done.
Most junkies would have done everything they could to get back up there. I commend you, good sir. 2, Animal Well. Very relaxing game to play, and it reacquainted me with the Metroidvania genre. Love this game. Really cheered me up. Serenity Now.
Nice.
I have not played Animal Well.
I played a little of it. I didn't get into it because there was another big game I was playing at the same time. I don't remember what it was, but
yeah,
it's stylistically it's very different. It's like visually, like the aesthetic is extremely different from what you would be used to with a typical Metroidvania.
It's like it's kind of like a Fez kind of Metroidvania. Like you're picking up on subtle clues and stuff. Like nothing's spelled out for you, right? So a lot of puzzle solving.
I definitely booted up and started. That must be on PSN, right? Because
it was on PSN when they had it free on PSN at one point.
Gotcha. Okay, I was gonna say because I definitely didn't buy it, but I remember playing the very beginning and then didn't go back to it. Nothing to do with the game not being good. I just ended up playing something else. Number 3, Shin Megami Tensei 4 Vengeance. I love the dark mood and ambiance. The monster designs are terrific, and have yet to get past the trial though. Should get back to it. I have not played that either. That's a remaster, right? That they re-released on PS5 and
4th one.
Switch. I think it's.
I don't know.
Or is 5 the remaster? I don't know. One of them came out last year. That was a remaster. You know how they do like Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal? It's like that, but for that one.
Huh,
maybe that's 5 though.
I thought it was 3, but oh well.
Oh, maybe it is 3. I don't know. I've never played one. That's why I was asking if that was the one that was remastered, or if he's talking about like the original.
There is a Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance as well.
Oh,
So
okay. So that's okay.
yeah,
Persona 3 Reload, yay.
nice.
And then Vampire Survivors Castlevania.
Cool.
So I should just go and buy that because
Holy shit!
if you've seen like they literally recreated every character, like every protagonist from the Castlevania franchise, maybe not. Oh God, I forgot her name. Maybe not the girl in Legends because that was deemed not canon, but like all the rest of them are there, and it's pretty impressive, like what they've done. So I need to just probably go get that. It looks
They
really cool.
deserve it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Castlevania, Chris, I fought a boss in Symphony of the Night that I never fought before,
Mhm.
and I could have sworn this boss because I never got to it in Symphony of the Night. The first time I ever fought it was in Portrait of Ruin, and it's the boss that's like the big brain thing that like
Oh, the
pukes out
bodies
all
and
the
stuff.
Yeah, the
bodies.
big bodies. Yeah.
I had no idea that was in Symphony of the Night.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought that was
Wow.
Portrait of Ruin. Yeah.
I'm glad you're replaying it, Geoff.
Dude, there's so much I have not seen.
I didn't
Oh my
realize you
God.
could miss that boss.
I 100% missed it. It's and I honestly the guide that you sent that I was following, it doesn't even lead you to it either.
Oh wow, okay.
I just was like, I'm just kind of exploring where I can and then following
Good.
like the guide, and I was like, holy shit, I've never been here before.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this thing, because a lot of those games recycle assets and like enemy types and stuff. I just thought that was not in Symphony of the Night, and I was like, shit.
Yeah, I think that boss debuted in Symphony of the Night. I don't know for sure, but I'm about 90% positive it debuted in Symphony of the Night. The other one is the Beelzebub, like the big dude that's chained up. Have you gotten to him yet?
I don't think so.
You'll know him when you get there. And then after you get past Richter and move on, we'll talk about the hardest boss in the game, and because he's optional, you don't have to get to him.
Okay, good. I don't like non-optional bosses. They scare me.
They're big and scary.
We do have one email. Does one of you guys want to read it? Just to give me a little bit of break on the vocals.
This is from Eddie Kusanagi.
Hello, Eddie.
Long time listener from, I think he's been listening to us since 2007.
He's been listening to Geoff, not us.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Listen,
I know I'm late with this, but I don't give a shit. 2024 was weak for me personally. Only games I bought was Silent Hill and Rebirth. Silent Hill 2, Rebirth, and Wukong. And I haven't even beaten any of them. There is one game though, and that game is Tekken 8. And it is the worst Tekken to date.
Oh, man.
Wow. They have updated it and did some balances here and there, but the core of the game and its aggressive style is not what Tekken is supposed to be. We used to complain about Tekken 7, but now we are more ashamed than ever. More ashamed that we ever minced a word about it. And miss Tekken 7 more than ever. It is my lair of the year. Wow. Oh wow, that's a reach, man. We need to make sure we do one of those next week. If you know, you know. That's right. They changed my main character, Eddie, revamped his moveset so much. But besides that, they added too much of the bullshit to the supers and meters. It's becoming too gimmicky. Hopefully season 2 will make things a little better. But I'll still play it every day.
That's interesting. I didn't know that he was like that, like far gone on like Tekken 8. Like he was just gave up on it. Huh. Because I started coming back on Tekken like around 7, and it sounds like that's when he was starting to dip. And he's been around forever. So, interesting.
Yeah. It's also weird too. Like I don't know. I've never followed people from that like community. Like Eddie's basically my only lifeline to the hardcore Tekken community, and it's funny how the community could have a totally different outlook on a fighting game than the critics have, because it got like really, really good reviews. But I feel like this happens with every fighting game. They love it when it comes out, then they fucking hate it, and then they love it again. Then they're back. I think right now in Street Fighter 6, they're at hating it right now. I think
that was last week.
Was that last week?
Yeah,
okay,
that was
so
last
they're back
week.
to loving it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay, so it'll come around, Eddie. It'll be good soon. So I can't tell. Is he putting that as his game of the year, or is he saying that?
No, I think
he
That's all he
plays it every
played.
day.
I think he's just sending in a couple mentions. But yeah, I mean, I'll write it down. He plays it every day, so it must be his game of the
Yeah, I
year.
was gonna
I
say
swear.
it's playing. Yeah, he's like, I need to keep up my skills, but yeah, I think it should be Among Us, Eddie. You play that game almost every day. I
That's
feel.
true.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
It's always looking
I'll
for
be
a
laying
group.
there. Yep. I was gonna say I'll be sitting there watching something, boop, and he's looking for a group for Among Us. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie.
Okay. Well, that's the feedback, Chris. So, do you have a tally on maybe top 5 or top 3?
I have scienced it out.
Okay.
It's really a top 3, and then
Make the computer noise.
No, I'm not going to make the computer noise.
Beep, bop, boop, 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 boop.
There we go. Oh my God!
There
Was
you
that a
go. Jason
computer?
did it. Absolutely, it certainly was.
That's what I thought.
The top 3 kind of separated themselves, and then the rest of them had like a collection that had the same amount of points. But I will say this: so we'll start out with this way. There were 2 games that got the most votes. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you guys can guess them.
Yep.
Which are
Tekken
they?
8.
Oh, Astrobot,
No. Astrobot and
Helldivers 2,
no.
Whoa.
Indiana Jones.
No.
What?
Come on, man.
What are we missing?
It was said
Oh,
more than
Balatro.
Astrobot, actually, Balatro.
Balatro.
So, but
okay, yeah.
because of the point values, Astrobot had 4 number 1 picks.
Okay.
And it got 27 points, and Balatro got 26 points. That's how close it was.
Oh, that's
Wow.
super close.
So, it's honestly, I don't think our community game of the year has ever been that close. Like that's really cool.
Close.
So yeah, Astrobot gets community game of the year for InDis this year with 27 points. Balatro is number 2 at 26 points. Indiana Jones is number 3 with 10 points. That is
a huge drop off.
And then
Wow.
there were 2 with 9, and it was Banishers and Dragon's Dogma, and everything else is 8 or below. But yeah, the Astrobot had 6 different people mention it, and Balatro had 7 different people mention it. So it's pretty big.
Not bad, guys.
Very cool.
Thank you all who contributed and sent in your messages and your emails.
I love doing this shit.
We certainly appreciate it, and we love interacting with the community. It's our favorite part of doing this. So we appreciate you, and keep it up.
Appreciate most of you. I'm just kidding. Except for Sass Bob. He can eat a dick.
God damn it. I have to play D&D with him tomorrow. God.
He doesn't listen. He just puts them in his
He might not. I don't know. Cool. I think that's a show, gents. What do you think?
That sounds pretty good.
So.
Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please tell a few friends about us. Like, subscribe, and comment. All of those things help us out a lot. You can check us out at interactivedistractions.com. That will send you to our Linktree, and Linktree will lead you to our Patreon and our Discord. The Discord is more important, but if you feel like supporting us on Patreon, we would certainly appreciate that. But that's it. So until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Jason.
I'm Geoff.
Play your games, and we'll talk to you next time.
Fuck you.